Alright folks, so here's my F-150 here, and I think where we left off, I got the bed off this thing, and got the gas tank out finally, thank goodness. I got the original straps off, and we got the new straps, and we got our leaf spring and all that stuff. So what else we got? I had to cut the original straps off, unfortunately, because there was no getting them off at all, really. But anyway, so I cut the original straps off there, and got that other gas tank strap off, got that out of the way. I got a fuel vapor line right there, got it removed. I might reuse it, not 100% sure, but I'll of course have to clean that up. But I got a dry shaft out, and they do make a new slip yoke for it, so I'll add that on the list to get that sometime this summer. I want to get a new slip yoke and replace it because they do get a groove in them. This one's got, it's not really a groove, but I can feel a low spot there, so we'll replace that. And I believe it's a 28 spline on the Fords, and it's 27 on the GM stuff. Anyway, the new ones, they don't have this outer ring on it, and it's got this seal. It's kind of like a harmonic bouncer, kind of, but they don't have that outer ring, but that doesn't matter. And I believe the AODs are the same slip yoke, I'm pretty sure, but they are 1330 from what I can tell. I have to do some measuring. They're 1330 U-joints. Basically, they're wider, and most typical stuff takes 1310s, but they're just a little bit wider. But I think I got a set of them somewhere. I'll have to look. I think I got a new set. I think I got at least one. I can't remember. But anyway, there's a leaf spring, dug that out. And of course I showed y'all all the mounts, the shackles, all that stuff. Nobody I know. Anyway, can't remember if I got the U bolts or not. I'm gonna reuse these plates. But from what I was reading, these U-bolts are actually a one-time use, so not supposed to reuse them. And they don't really cost that much, but I think I got those. So I'm trying to remember everything I have and I don't have. And I know I don't have a sending unit for the gas tank. I know that for a fact, because I waited on that because I was going to buy the one, because this truck was originally EFI, and we're getting rid of all that, and we're just going to go back old school and just run a new fuel line from right there on this cross member and just shoot straight up with a 3/8 fuel line. And just that'll pretty much be it. I don't like the vapor line on there, so I'm not 100% sure what I'm going to do with that. I wish I would have ordered a little bit earlier tank that doesn't have that hole on the top like the original, because I ordered one for my 78 that doesn't have that to eliminate that issue. So I might end up selling that tank that I bought and just go with a little bit older tank. But this one had it right there. And I kind of like to get rid of that and eliminate that, because that way that eliminates that old charcoal canister and that black box, I forget what they call it, all that emission junk, more or less. But you got to remember, you got to run. If you do get rid of that, you have to run a vented gas cap, because it'll build pressure if you don't. But that's what I had to run on my 78 F-150 there. I had to run a vented gas cap. So you got to remember that. You definitely want to have the right gas cap on. Otherwise, that thing will build up pressure like crazy. And sometimes what'll happen, especially during the summer, all that pressure will build up. It'll kind of make it start leaking. I noticed on my 78 anyway, it'll make it leak around the sending unit. It'll start making fuel run out. It just built all that pressure up. So you got to run the correct gas cap. As long as you run the correct gas cap, you're fine. But anyway, so I've been trying to get this thing stripped down here and digging parts out still. Got a dry shaft removed. I finally found my dry shaft. There's my little cone piece. They make those. They're really inexpensive, but you can take those and slip them up to the back of the transmission there, and it's supposed to hold the fluid in. Well, in this case, gear oil. But so that makes it real nice. Do they work? Yeah, I'd say maybe 80% of the time. Trick to it too, you really don't have to have that. If you take the back of the vehicle there, as long as it's leaning at an angle, the front's lower than the back there, you don't have to really worry about that. But and so far it's not leaking or nothing, so hopefully that'll work. Anyway, this is what we got here. So I gotta make mine up on the fuel tank yet, so I might end up listing that up for sale, just selling it and finding a little bit older tank. All the straps are the exact same. I mean, they never changed these upper straps or the lower straps for many years. I mean, they're pretty much the same as far as I know, from a 73 to like a 97 F250. But the 96 was the last year for this body style. But anyway, so that's what we've been working on, getting ready to pull this rear bumper off. I'm gonna get that off out of the way, set it aside for now, and well, I'm gonna reuse it later, but just to make it a little bit easier. So because once we get everything cleaned up on this frame here and get it the way I want it, I'm gonna take this bed and we'll pick it up and set it back on there. So anyway, that's the plan here, but just kind of going through this stuff. How you digging? He's the one that dug these holes here. There's a hole there, there's a hole there, there's a hole right there. Loves digging up. Digging up something. But anyway, I've been wiring wheeling this frame here, and trying to get all up inside the frame really good and cleaning it up. And it is pitted up like crazy, but ain't nothing too terrible. Got a little bit of rust issues right in here on this side from the shock mounts that go on the inside here. So I think what I'm going to do is, I got these mounts anyway. I'm going to grind these rivets off, and then I'm just going to take my welder and just go in there. And I really don't like doing it like this, but what's it going to hurt? Nothing really. I'm just going to go in here and wire wheel this up really good once I get that mount out of the way. And I'm just going to take and just go in and just weld all this back up and grind it flush, and probably call it good. I mean, I know it's not really the best way of doing it, but that's what I'm going to do. This is the worst spot on the whole frame, is right in here. And then we got a little bit of pinholes right in here and up in there. But the rest of it is, I mean, it's pitted up like crazy, but it's nothing horribly deep. But so that's what I'm gonna do. The other side is, they typically rot out. All that moisture and everything, and dirt and trash and everything else sits down in there, and it's pretty much what happens. So that's what I'm gonna do. I'm just gonna go in there and just weld it up. Hopefully it'll hold up for a little while, and that'll put some strength back in there, and hopefully that'll take care of it. This side ain't as bad. Definitely not as bad. But anyway, I'm gonna get some probably just get some old primer sealer, and once I finish getting this frame good and cleaned up and get to as many places as I can possibly get, I'll just take and just run a hand wire brush to the places I can't really get, like all the small places and everything. I'll do that, and I'll just call it good, because I mean, look, this is not a frame off restoration or nothing like that. It's just, we're taking the time trying to do it right. It's easier just to pull the bed off, because I mean, I could just took the easy way out and just pulled the bed off, threw a new gas tank on it, new straps on it, let her ride. But I'm not going to do that, because if you don't address this issue now, it's going to get worse and worse and worse down the road, and before you know it, you're going to have major issues. And then you don't want the truck, the frame will get so rough that literally it'll break in half. You don't want that. So now it's time to address the issues now and preserve this truck. while we can, while it's not terrible. I mean, it's rough. Frame's a little rough, but I want to keep this truck so it'll last, as long as it can. We're not restoring it. We're just, cleaning everything up and digging all the parts out that I've had for this thing for a good while now, and we're just going to assemble it. And I think we're going to either do one or two things: find a 302, which I got one, throw a 302 in it, or I'm just going to have to wait and find a 351 Windsor and throw in it. And then going towards the 351 Windsor really is what I want. But anyway, video a little bit of nothing here, but that's what we got. So got the tank out and got our line, got some of the lines off there, got our vapor line off and all that good stuff. And I'm gonna wait and do the brake lines and all that stuff last. I don't want to disturb any of that yet, because I'm gonna use some of the original bins. They're not the original brake lines. It's been hacked and packed and everything else, but I'll at least go, off some of the bins so I could recreate some of these bins. They're not perfect. I'll adjust them, however I need to, and make them a little bit better. I still got to practice on that, making lines, neat. But anyway, that's where we're at. Had to cut a lot of bolts off this thing. I got just about all the exhaust mount bolts off, except for the one that's right in there behind the cab, and then we got another one that somebody threw on here right in here. I'm gonna cut that one off, and I think this will probably be the only original one I'm gonna save. Probably save this original one right here because it's still good, but that's the only one that the original left. Ignore that, but the rubber's still good. It's not torn or nothing, so I think we'll save that. That's just, I don't understand. People really don't. They threw old, something like that on there, and then they had the original right here. There's nothing wrong with it. I just don't get people. Whatever. But I think I will save that one. I might take it off. I don't know yet. I'll probably end up just taking it off, because we're going to probably end up putting, we're going with dual exhaust. I know that for a fact, but I don't know what I'm going to do yet. If it's going to be straight pipes or probably glass packs. But yeah, there's another one. I had to cut a lot of these off. I mean, the bolts were so rusted up. That was a bad shot there. I just ended up cutting a lot of them off. That's what I did on a lot of stuff. I had to cut the straps off. I mean, I tried and tried. I actually got the one started to break loose, but I just, heck with it. Done got new ones, and I've had this stuff for a couple years now, and just, heck with just zip with cut off wheel and pull them out. And these are not permanent. We're not going to leave that permanent like that. Just mocking it up, just kind of see what's what. That's all. But I don't know, for some reason these upper straps are a little bit harder to find. But I don't know why, but they are. But anyway, so that's what we got. Video a little bit of nothing. Ain't really made too much progress here. But I'm gonna finish getting all the wire harness. We're not gonna pull it all the way out. I'm just gonna move it out of the way and tie it up, and then get this brake line and all that. I'll make all the brake lines up, and then we'll remove that. And then I'm just gonna clean this frame up just really, really good. As good as I can get it. I don't care about the mounts, because I'm going to replace all them anyway. They're really not that terrible, really. But, once you start cleaning it up, things look a lot, I don't know if this makes sense, but it seems like they look better, once you clean them up than what they do now. Because now they look kind of scaly and questionable there. But once you clean them up, it don't look as bad, if that makes sense. But, anyway, so that's what we got here. Anyway, these are brand new tires too. Well, they were. I had them put back on in, I think, 2018. Yep. Thanks for watching. Here he is, digging again.